Good morning to everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the opening bell, ladies and gentlemen. Ashley Reeve here. We're streaming live from Johannesburg, Sandton. Before we get started, remember guys, the information we discuss in this video is opinion and should not be construed as advice in any way. All right, everybody. What a day we had yesterday. All right. Once again, to everybody tuning in, we salute you and we thank you for being part of the TD family. You know, this is where great things happen, yeah? We had a fantastic and, session yesterday. Great time with each other. And we're seeing there's quite a bit happening in the market. One of the big highlights, obviously, is the U.S. shutdown. But we're also seeing, things like tariffs and rebates. And, Trump, has floated the idea of giving Americans rebate checks of between $1,000 and $2,000 funded by tariff revenue. The government expects between $500 billion to about $1 trillion in tariff income if the policies hold. There's something else that was also very interesting that we saw this morning, whiskey tensions. The U.S. may ease the tariffs on UK whiskey to avoid any retaliation. And obviously this is to support the U.S. bourbon makers. Since UK Scotch producers rely heavily on U.S. barrels, there seems to be a bit of a lift there. Yeah? And obviously we have the shutdown impact. The government shutdown has limited direct efforts or effects rather so far, but is raising concerns about growth, inflation, and jobs. And data, releases like the payrolls, which we know to date, NFP, have been delayed, adding a lot of uncertainty. And we're seeing, the safe haven demands like your gold and your silver, both metals did extend their weekly gains. Investors turned to the safe havens due to the shutdown, and obviously some other factors, obviously that preceded that. But, for this week, it's been a big thing. And so gold is on its 7th straight weekly gain. Silver remains supported by the expected Fed rate cuts and supply shortages. Now, yesterday we had a phenomenal time in the trading room. Anticipated upside. We did anticipate upside, and we were not wrong. We just had a technical structural correction here that moved there, creating another higher low, which is essentially a support, that could be used to, go back to the high, because we saw the all-time highs yesterday with the gold price, and we're expecting more highs to come. So for the guys that put in their buy limits there, they are doing phenomenal. We had, if there was the short, because we had suspicions, that there could be a short, and we were not wrong in the short. It did come. You can see once it hit that specific, remember, I don't know if you guys remember, I mentioned a false breakout, said that to you, this would be a false breakout. Yes, if it goes and continues above that high there, it means it's the true move. So that was a false move there, and then it came to the downside. Now if you go to some of the indicators, you'll actually see it for what it is. This high will actually be below that high over there. If you go to, let me see if we can quickly get something up here so you guys can see it. All right, there we go. So look at this high over there, and then look at that high over there. So you can see the divergence there. You can see that high. That was a false move. And this happens all the time. All right, everybody, this happens all the time. And many, there's so much data out there, that this is a false move because they want to induce the buyers to come in, and then they take them all out here with the stop losses, which, can't, if you put it there from a technical standpoint, it's true. But then again, you don't want to get into hearsay. But from a technical move perspective and the effect of it, yes. If that high goes up, it's a false move, comes down, takes out all of the buys. That's why you got to use some indicators to become more smart, So we anticipated, we had a great suspicion that price was coming down, and it did. But that does not mean that gold is not moving up. It is still moving up. So for all the buys that might have lost out on something there, we found a support, all right? Even the silver price, the same thing happened here. Exactly the same move happened. That's the correlation. And we saw the, the false move to the upside came down, it hit our suspicions on the head, the nail on the head there. So, you got to give yourself a pat on the back for being able to see that. So don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah, it's trading. It happens. And then obviously we're expecting some more upside now. All right. So it looks like that was the higher low, structural correction. And then we're back at it. Look at that. We're back going into these highs again now. So there's a support there. So we're looking for some more, movement to the upside. Also, we're looking at the New Zealand dollar, guys. Pretty strong. The Kiwi did hold around the 0.58 as it is now, gaining about 0.8% this week against the US dollar. Global pressure on the US dollar helped, but at home, weak economic data has markets expecting the Reserve Bank of New Zealand to cut those rates by next week or so, possibly a 25 basis point cut. So, but due to that, we could see the New Zealand dollar now come down to create another higher low. So please watch out for that for next week for the New Zealand dollar. We might get some movement up. We could create a nice move today, and then we go down. So we're going to have to wait. This is just a problem high over here. That's a problem high. If we can't take this high out here today, then obviously we are poised and we are waiting for a possible drop here next week. So feast your eyes then on the NZD JPY, against the yen here, guys. We are seeing that the yen did slip a little bit to the 147.5 against the US dollar ahead of the ruling party's leadership this weekend, guys. So watch out for that news. This could set Japan's future economic direction, all right? The unemployment rose there slightly to about 2.6%, the highest in over a year. Very good economy, Japan. And then obviously the Bank of Japan there remains cautious but signaled it could raise those rates if the conditions allow, all right? So there's more optimism in that specific rise. If that's the case, we're looking at this from an hourly perspective today. Possible rise. We've had a chart of the day with the NZD JPY. We've looked at the long. I think it's hit those targets long ago already. That was in the beginning of the week. We've had a correction. Look at these higher lows being created. Here's another one that's being moved now. So if we break above the 85.995, guys, that could be something for the guys to feast on, all right? So there is still a lot of opportunities. We know the dollar's a bit volatile right now. It's gaining a bit of traction today, but we are seeing that the NZD JPY could be pushing up there for us. Okay, so just have a look at that. I hope you guys, okay, big apologies. Angelique, thank you very much for that. Couldn't see it. There we go. Just let me know in the chat facility real quickly. All right, so let me quickly go back there. There's the gold price. All right, big apologies. There's the gold price, dramatic drop, and we're seeing the push to the upside again once now. All right, we, like I mentioned in the audio that you guys got now, a minute or two ago in the audio, not the visual. We had a suspicion of the drop, and we had our numbers there. But let me just show that place again, where we saw the move to the upside, which was a false move. Let me actually go back and show you guys there, because I think it's going to be great from an educational standpoint. Yeah, give me a second. Let me just get it there. There we go. All right, so look at this. So you'll see that this was the high. Then we had a false move to the upside. Look at that, false move to the upside, and you can see it in the RSI here. There was no strength. All right, this was just the price printing on that specific, in that specific direction. So it was a false move. We went to the downside here, and I said to you guys, when you get a false move, to test if it's a false breakout, look if it breaks that high again. All right, if it doesn't break the high, then you know it's a false move. All right, there we go, Anthony. Thank you very much, guys. So if it breaks that same high it created, it is not a false move. It's the true direction, but that you can clearly see that was a false move. And the same happened with silver. Guys. So again, pat yourself on the back. We did very well, but we are looking for the gains. Look at that false move right there. It's so evident. Look at that. Man. Guys, try not to be too hard on yourself when it comes to trading, yeah? Look at that. Look at that false move, and then we come down. So we were spot on with that, all right? So business today, then I said to the guys, look for NZD, NZD, USD. Those rate cuts, I'm not going to repeat all the theory on the New Zealand dollar. You guys can go and watch it back there. But if those rate cut comes, we could come down here. So expect a bit of dollar strength. It could come in next week, guys. It's absolutely possible. Even though the shutdown is there, it doesn't matter. it doesn't matter. We're seeing a lot of technical moves now. And then the second one was the NZD JPY, looking phenomenal here. This is one that I'm actually looking forward to. I already caught this one moving up, which was the chart of the day in the beginning of the week, but we've had our correction now and looks like we're pushing up again. So above the 85.995, let me type it there. 85.995. That seems to be the zone that is coming through very strong. Look at that. Once we push above there, some movement to the upside will be phenomenal. So watch out for the NZD JPY. NZD JPY. Also look at the GBP CAD. A bit stubborn here, I must say. A little bit stubborn. I told the guys in the trading room, this is the one I'm actually looking for yesterday. Beneath the 1.87586. It has dipped given the lower high. So there is structure here. We're just waiting for price. I'm waiting for price to come down again. I'd like price to break down again. A nice long red candle right there. I'm going to go in for my short here. Beautiful push to the downside, about 60 pips. Nice movement, intraday movement for today. So we're going to have a wait and look and see if it does that. Okay, it's cupping at this moment. Look at that. So just be careful, guys. It keeps coming out of the range, and then it goes back. So this is really, really a box or a range, and we want price to move away from it completely. Once it moves away from it completely with a nice momentum candle, that will be the price to get in, all right? But then obviously watch out for this side as well, because price could go back in and go back into these ranges over here that you can see, all right? Those are ranges there. Price could go back and create a stronger lower high, and if it does that, then we have a stronger move to the downside as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see on this one. AUD Swiss franc, same here. We need another break below 0.52485. Guys, let me just say again, this is obviously us just really giving you guidance. You know, there's no particular perfect entry. It doesn't exist, all right? But an ask is moving the price at crazy speeds, all right? It's split second, it's nanosecond speeds of price, of buyers and sellers. So you're not going to get, you know, especially if you are doing, you know, current price, you're going in at the best price possible. The pip distance will remain the same, yes, for that specific pair, although it's floating due to fundamentals and so forth, so the spread can widen, but generally you're looking at about a 1 to 2 pip spread, 3 pip spread, but the actual price is going to vary. It's going to vary. It's incremental. So you're not going to get in at a perfect entry. You're going to get in at a good entry. There's good entries, there's poor entries, all right? So if I get in here, this is a poor entry. That's a poor entry because there's the exit. Now, again, that's perception, because if I get in there, that's 3 pips. But give someone R1 million, or take R1 million account and give them 3 pips, and they're putting in 100 lots as an example. 3 pips is all they need. Do you see that? So when you look at it from a perspective or perception angle, it becomes a different story. For us as retail traders, we're looking to get between 0 and 100 pips a day. All right, so if you're getting 25 pips, 30 pips a day, that's great. That's a good entry. All right, so here to here, that's about 21 pips. That's a nice move. That's a nice move. Intraday, you put some good cash behind that. You know, your mini lots is 0.10, 0.15. You can make, you know, some good, decent money. And the aim is not to you sell the guys a dream. It's to train the guys on reality. All right, so if you're making $50 per trade, in rands, that's triple digits. In rands, it's triple digits. So that can pay some bills. So we're not here because we just want to pay bills. No, we're here to create a system. We're here to create a nice strategy for us to flow every single day. But we're training the guys to understand that specific reality. So get into those, you know, classes that we do offer, guys, and get some of the knowledge to equip yourself. Yeah. But for today, we're being very simple, very clean. GBP CAD looking for some downside here. AUD Swiss franc looking for some downside. NZD JPY looking for some upside here. But we're waiting for those key areas to be broken first. All right. You know, from me, guys, have a fantastic one. This is the opening bell for this Friday weekly wrap up. We'll be back next week, Monday. Monday, again with the opening of the new trading week. Remember, it is the month of October now, guys, 3rd of October to be exact. We're going to fly through this one as well. So keep your eyes peeled on the U.S. shutdown news and what's happening there. We did mention some specifics there, that it could take 3 to 5, maybe, a week or two. And it could even be, much sooner as well. We don't know at this point in time. Congress needs to get to some form of consensus, all right? But have a wonderful weekend, guys. Enjoy the family and so forth, all your activities. Guys, we'll be back next week again. And if you'd like to open up an account with us, don't forget, visit www.tdmarkets.com. You can also email us at care@tdmarkets.com. Have a phenomenal weekend once again, everybody. Blessings to everybody. What a privilege. What an honor. Have a good one. Ashley Reeve, and I'm checking out. Ciao, ciao.